If you guys want to see this better, get on YouTube. Get on my YouTube channel if you guys want to see this better. I'm about to comp some multifamily deals. If you guys want to comp them with me, we could do Q&A. We could talk about it. This is my multifamily deal calculator that I got from a mastermind that I went to. I'm about to comp 3 deals that were just sent to me and see if there's something that we can buy. So, and I can show you guys how I do this. So if you guys are on IG right now, get on YouTube. I'll leave it like this on IG, but I know you guys can't see it really that good. And also, I can't answer your questions on IG because it's just propped up. I can't even see what you guys are saying because I had to prop my phone up. So get on YouTube if you want to do some Q&A. If you just want to watch, feel free to just watch. And I'm going to comp a couple deals. So the first deal that I'm going to comp is a 97 unit. So this is my multifamily calculator, guys. Basically, it's super simple because the formulas are already plugged in. So all I have to do is plug in every single thing. The best part is like a lot of this is just Googleable information. So this is a 97 unit in Houston, Texas, and it's a C class. So those are important things to know if you guys are going to be looking at multifamily deals. Is it A class, B class, C class? I wouldn't buy anything that wasn't at least C class, so I won't even look at anything worse than that. But the cool thing is when you use Google, you can look up things like Houston multifamily C class cap rate. And you can see what the average cap rate for Houston multifamily property would be. So you see here, this is literally Google. It'll tell you a lot about the market, the multifamily market. So almost every market has this this kind of thing, some kind of a breakdown, average occupancy rate, average vacancy rate, average cap rate. And you can use these articles to fill in your worksheet. So Houston's multifamily median cap rate remained steady at 4.7%. And then here it breaks down based on the class. You'll see the occupancy rate average. And because it's a C class, I know it's a little bit more than 4%. 4% might be like a B. So for this, I'll put 5.5 for the cap rate. And usually it'll round up to 6 if I put 5.5. So it rounded up to 6. This is a 97 unit. It's supposedly turnkey, but I don't believe in turnkey. I think everything at least needs paint, at least needs some freshening up, needs some new light fixtures, and might need some new switches, outlets, you know, like you don't really know. So even if it looks nice in the pictures, you want to put something for your CapEx budget per unit. Always go with the 40% expense ratio if you don't know it. But I know this one has a 55% expense ratio. 40% is like a minimum. Everything usually at least has a 40% expense ratio, unless it's just like an A-class property that's just like amazingly managed and it always stays fully occupied. And that's more like Florida and stuff like that. Yeah, if you guys are on YouTube, go ahead and ask your questions. Hey, Christopher. What up, what up, what up, Frederick? So the really cool thing that I love about this calculator is that it has, if you guys are coming on IG, just come on YouTube. I'll just pin that comment. Come on YouTube. And my YouTube channel is just Toddy Virtual. So let me put this back here. I know you guys can't see it on IG. That's why I'm like, come on YouTube if you really want to see it and ask questions. No, you can't get this calculator, guys. I paid a lot of money for this. I can't even share it. I only have the one copy. But I took a mastermind that I got this calculator. But you can get it if you take Tim Bratz's Commercial Empire class. That's where I got this from, Tim Bratz Commercial Empire. So, hey. So the performer rents is $850 a unit, and I got that by taking the gross income and dividing it by 97 units, because obviously you're going to have some that are making 800, you're going to have some that are making 1100, you're going to have some that are making 900, some that are making 700. So you add all of the rents together, and usually that's at the bottom of the rent roll, which I can't show you guys because I signed an NDA, but at the bottom of the rent roll, it tells you the total gross, and then you divide it by the number of units. So I divided that by 97 units, and I got $850 per unit. The market vacancy rate is also going to be in this market report. And basically, if it's the opposite of the occupancy rate. So if a B class occupancy rate is 93%, then the vacancy rate is 6.2%. It would just be whatever makes this whole to 100, right? Occupancy, vacancy. It's like the same, the opposite sides. So I will put 6.2%. And that's probably going to round it down to 6%. And now we have every single part of this filled out. Now, this is my favorite part. Down here, it gives you different options. So it gives you a maximum allowable offer if this is a value add, if it's stabilized, and then getting in some creative, or if it's a wholesale deal. So you literally have every exit strategy here. But I'm typically going to look at this, the cash offer. That would be if I bought it, what I could buy it for, where it would make sense. This is if the seller carries back 20%. This actual deal is unique because there's a $4 million assumable mortgage. So at 3%, which is super low. So $4 million would be subject to the existing mortgage, which would be really awesome. The drawback, though, is that the seller's really stuck on their price. So this isn't a bad deal, even if we could get it at a little bit more than this, knowing that part of it is going to be financed on that original loan at 3%. So this is one of the three. I'm going to stop sharing for just a second and answer some questions really quickly, and then get the next property ready. So I'm going to stop sharing this calculator real quick while I get the details for the next one. And IG2, because I signed an NDA, so I'm not really allowed to show the actual addresses, but I felt like this was a really good opportunity for all of us to do this together. And these are in Texas, guys. These are in Texas. These are in Texas. Drop your questions. I'm going to answer them as they come in. Hey, Mike. Yeah, they're in Texas. Jonathan. I got this from Tim Brott's Commercial Empire Mastermind. So if you guys want to get this, slide over to Tim Brott's. And some of these are just crazy, like prices that don't make sense. So I'm not even gonna use those, but this one's a good one. So this is 117 units. They want 8.1 million. They are 2 1s and 1 1s. Cap rate is 7.7%. And it is generating $78K a month. All right. So, and it's in NO. All right. So we're back. We're back to the calculator. Now I'm going to analyze the second one. All right. Let me share the screen again. All right, so this one is 117 units. It's making 78K a month. So this is what I would do. 78,000 divided by 117. So I can figure out the average rent per unit. Oh, wow. Isn't that crazy? 666666666. That's super creepy. Or it's good. Angel numbers. I'll think of it like that. Those are the angel numbers. So $666 a unit. This one actually does need rehab per unit. So I'll say 20,000 a unit. And that'll just be like a kitchen and a bath and paint, nothing crazy. The expense ratio on this one is 55% as well. and the occupancy is at 75%. And let's look at the cap rate. This is New Orleans. If you guys are joining on IG and you want to ask questions and have conversation and stuff, I can't see anything going on IG right now, so join YouTube, please. Let's see. New Orleans, retail, multifamily. Cap rates average 5.4%. This one says it's a 7. So it says it's 7.7. So that'll be like an 8%, I'm sure, when I put that in. Yep. And then New Orleans multifamily market vacancy rate. So there's the market vacancy rate, and then there's the actual occupancy rate of the apartment. So it's two different things. Vacancy rate 7.2%. So let's call it 7%. Okay, so we got the cap rate, vacancy rate, the market rents, the cap X budget per unit, number of units, the expense ratio, and the current occupancy. So we know on this deal, if we were going to buy all cash, we would need to be in at under $1 million. And remember, guys, I told you they're asking for $8 million. Even if the seller carried 20%, we'd still be super low. I love this calculator because it just makes it so easy to just figure out what deals aren't even worth talking to someone further on. But, and no, I'm not finding these leads on PropStream, Mike. I'm getting deals sent to me from people, wholesalers, brokers, agents. I'm buying multifamily, so I'm getting deals sent to me from all over. And I love this tool because I could just quickly analyze if it's even something that I should look further at or not. And then let me see. I got one more. I'm going to get the details on this one and put it in here. So this last one, if you guys are on IG, come on YouTube because I need to use my phone because I have some deals some people texted me. So I will be off of IG, I'll be on YouTube. Okay. Last one. So this one, share my screen one more time. All right. So this one's in Texas again. This is a 28 unit, and that's more what I want to buy. Like I'm trying to buy like 5 to 30. I'm not really trying to get 97 or 100, but that's okay if I did. So this makes a lot less income. So at $235,000 a year, it's only making $19,000 a month. And then divided by 28 units, that means rents are super low at $700 a month. This has a 40% expense ratio. And it's 100% occupied. And it's turnkey. But again, I don't believe in that. So I'm going to just put $5,000 a unit because something's going to go wrong. And then where this is in Texas, the cap rate is actually 9%. It's not in a major city, and it is C class. And then I'm going to Google the market vacancy rate. And technically, this is not a multifamily. This is a portfolio of duplexes, but since it would be purchased in one deal, I would have to count it as that. It looks like there is like a 9% vacancy rate. It says 7.8, but I'm going to round it up to 9 just to be safe. All right. So cap rate, vacancy rate, market rents, number of units, expense ratio, and current occupancy. So now we are at cash 787, and then we have 2 seller carrybacks, and then we have the wholesale. So they actually want 2 million on this one. So again, it's not a deal. So that was a super quick way to figure out that all 3 of those deals were not a deal. I'm going to answer some questions now. How long have you had your virtual wholesale company? For 3 years. So this would make 2023 would make year 3. I started in 2020. Yeah, so Deal Check is really similar. I don't think Deal Check has like the multiple exit strategies. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they might. But I don't think Deal Check has like the multiple exit strategies. But honestly, I did this commercial empire mastermind, and it was really worth it. It was really, really worth it because I learned a lot about raising money. I just learned so much. I learned about comping deals. I learned about what to look for in a market when you're buying multifamily. And I actually realized that the markets that I wholesale in aren't really the markets that I want to buy deals in. So that was a good wake up call because up until then, I was actually buying a lot of properties in Cleveland. Not that Cleveland's bad, but it doesn't fit what I'm looking to do in real estate. I'm not, trying to just cash flow. I'm trying to hold things for a really long time that'll appreciate. And in some, if you guys do deals in Cleveland, like some houses people buy them in bought them in the 90s for 30,000, and right now you would still sell them for 30,000. That's not really the type of neighborhoods that I want to be investing in. But when I first started, I like quickly bought like 9 properties in Cleveland, and then I had to kind of learn the hard way why they're so cheap. So if you guys are finding deals like anything 5 units and above, if you're finding deals, even maybe 4 units, but really 5 units and above, 4 units as well, send them to me because I really want to buy them. But just make sure they're areas that the population is growing at least 0.8% every year. If the population is growing 0.8% every year, that means there's always going to be demand for these apartments. Hey, Mike. She said, hey, this is your old pal, Miss Bugaboo. Is there a calculator for land? There's no calculator for land, no. But I can comp it. I can comp it right now if you want. There's a property going for 85,000. I offered 34,000. Yeah. So I mean, I can show you. I mean, you already know how I comp land because we talked about this a bunch of times. But just for the sake of everybody else, I'll show how I comp land. I reverse engineer it based on what things are selling for. But right now, you just got to be a little bit more conservative because the market is going down and builders are taking into account that things aren't going to be selling for what they sold for in 2022 in 2023. So that's kind of a big deal. You have to account for potentially like a 30% drop. Imagine someone starts building on land right now and then it's not ready till 2025 or 2024, and the market's continued to dip since then, and there's not a huge market for those types of houses. If they're like a between 350,000 and $800,000 is not an affordable home, and it's not really a luxury home. So that's kind of the tough price point right now. If it's under 350,000, it could still be an affordable home in most markets. And even with higher interest rates, people who are ready to buy a house will still buy a house. On the flip side, a house more than $800,000, you're talking about $1 million houses. That's a totally different thing. Those people have money. So, oh my bad. Let me take that off. So I'm gonna look up this. And then I went ahead and I 249. Okay. I deleted it just so nobody steals your lead, but I got it right here and then I won't show the address. So we're gonna comp this land deal. I'm not gonna show you guys the address because Mike is my student and I don't want you guys to steal her deal. Not that you guys will. I know everybody on here has hella integrity. But we're in Dallas, Texas. And this is the zip code. And I'm gonna share my screen. So we're gonna go from this multifamily spreadsheet to my favorite thing, prop stream. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna look in this zip code and I'm gonna look at recently built properties. And I know where this house is because I know the address. So I'm gonna try to narrow down the actual neighborhood. The good thing is to find houses in the same subdivision that recently sold. So we're kind of over here in this neighborhood. And the property is right around here. So I'm going to go to filter, property characteristics, and year built. I'm going to go 2010, just anything that's been built in the last 12 years. And then I'll narrow it down from there. So there's enough houses that were built in 2010. So I'm going to try 2020. Okay, so there's enough houses that were built. Nope. You're built 2020 or later. And then I'm going to say, and they had to have sold in like from June to now, let's say. New builds that sold from June to now. And then I'm going to try. So there's actually like nothing right there, but this was built in 2023. That's pretty close. Let's look at it. So it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,300 square feet. It was just built and they listed it for $235,000. So that's really cheap. In mortgage and transaction history, we might be able to see what the land sold for. So yeah, we can see right here. The land sold for $1,700. So that's one land comp. Someone bought land here for $1,700. They built this, which makes sense because if it costs you $100 or $110 per square foot, 1,300 square feet, that means it cost them around $150,000 to build. And now they're trying to sell it. And that's crazy. They got a construction loan for $150,000. And I literally just guessed. But that's how easy it is to find comps for land and kind of reverse engineer it. So basically, this piece of land, based on this one comp, the land would have to be like less than $2,000. So let's look at another one though, because you don't want to always just go based off of one. This one was built in 2021. And it just sold for $300,000. And usually we can see what the land sold for. Here we cannot see what the land sold for. So in this scenario, same thing, you kind of reverse engineer it. 1,500 square feet, $110 per square foot. This one would be around $170,000 to build. So you'd have to sell it for at least $270,000. And if you really sold it at $300,000 to make $100,000, you could pay $30,000 for that land. So the lower the better, but I wouldn't be any higher than 20 or 25. Because if you're at 20 or 25, you could sell it for 30. And that seems to be the top price someone could buy it for. Sell it for 300 and make a profit. So that's like the reverse engineering based on price per square foot. In Frederick, it does have creative financing. That multifamily calculator it had seller carry back 20%, seller carry back 10%. And structuring creative financing, it wouldn't even make sense in that spreadsheet because that's more for what the seller needs. Like in that situation, when they needed us to take over the mortgage, then we can do that. But structuring the creative financing, you can't just say like, oh, this makes sense with 30,000 down. Like anything really works if they're willing to take creative financing. It's just how you do it for what they need, you know? It's not a formula necessarily, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's how you do. We covered multifamily and land in like 20 minutes. So any last questions? I am about to hop off. I just want to comp these deals with you guys. Again, multifamily deals, send them my way. Me and my team are buying, and I'm excited. 2023 is going to be a great year, and I hope to do deals with all of you guys, even if it's just a JV deal. You know, DM me. I'll help you out. We'll get some deals done. Good night, everybody.